So now I'm going to demonstrate the dispenser workstation. We're going to bring in petri dishes, dispense solid material onto the petri dishes, and return them to the rail car. Let's get this started. So we got the rail car coming into the station now, and the first thing we want to do is put the petri dish onto a fixed location. And again, these operations are slowed down, and if you notice in between moves it stops. It's partially by design so that if it makes a mistake I can stop it in time before something breaks. So I always got my finger on the power button in development. The goal of this is to have a fixed known amount that you dispense, and also to dispense the material around the petri dish, because when you're doing cell culture you need to be able to spread nutrients around evenly. So I'm able to do it partially, but there's a lot of mechanical improvements that could be done to make it work much better. And so in this case we got to take the lid off and put it into a holder while we do the dispensing, because we have to use the arm to grab the material that we're dispensing. So this first dispenser has dextrose in it, which is like a food for growing cells. It's a sugary substance, and the tricky thing with dispensing that is because it's a sugar, it's kind of sticky. So you'll see in the workstation there's some mechanical way to agitate the solid to prevent log jams. So it's taking its time getting the first dispenser that has contained some dextrose. So what I envision for the future would be a storage area with a bunch of different materials, solid granular materials that could be used in cell culture, and then you just have a software program or a file that contains the information on the experiment that you want to perform, and then it goes to the storage area and grabs the appropriate dispenser. So this is another step that hopefully I can eliminate with doing alignment. This should all be eliminated when this gets redesigned with mechanical improvements, which is why I'd really love to have a mechanical engineer work full time on this to iron out all these kinds of issues. Make this a system that runs super fast, many times faster than you're seeing right now. So now the rail car did its job, moved the petri dish and the dispenser over, so it tells the workstation it's done, and now the workstation is going to do its job. First thing it's got to do is acquire that into the dispensing mechanism. So it's going in, got it in there. Now we can go over the top of the petri dish and start dispensing material. So hopefully you can see material coming out of there. Don't have a whole lot coming out right now, but I'm trying to make a little square pattern in there, and you'll see it's not even. That's because what you really need is two motors, one to control the amount of flow and another to agitate the dispenser to prevent log jams. And now we do the inverse. Inverse of what we just did. We're going to send the dispenser back so the rail car can pick it up and put it back on the rail car. Hopefully you can see there's a bit of a square pattern there with what was just dispensed. And again, with mechanical improvements, you can make the dispenser dispense any type of granular material with a very precise amount and spread it evenly over a petri dish. And if you want super accuracy for dispensing, eventually there probably have to be some type of micro scale to measure the exact amount that you're dispensing. Because right now it basically has the accuracy of hourglass. It's just the amount of time that you open the dispenser up and allow the granular material to flow down determines the volume. So now we got to move the petri dish back that we just added some nutrients to. So we're doing the inverse, getting the rail car in the right spot to go grab the lid. Try to move that down so you can see that. There we go. Got the focus back. Now we're going to grab the other petri dish, put that on there. So that petri dish is on. Let's get the other dispenser. You kind of see when as that swung by, how fast it can go, and hopefully it'll be running that type of speed all the time with every operation. Okay, just alignment's the last step, and then the workstation will take over. This one's going to be peptone, which is another nutrient used for cell culture. But this one is more of a fine powder. It doesn't really need any kind of agitation to prevent log jams. So I'm using slightly different software, a different kind of profile to dispense this. It's more easily dispensed than dextrose. So I hope you can see something coming out. It's a little bit coming out. Hopefully you can see that. If I can get it in focus. Again, it's the problem of need to have two motors. This is why it's not as even as I'd like. Let's return it. If you can see a little pattern there, a little square. Hopefully it'll try to be a square. It should be letting the rail car know it's done, so the rail car can do its job and return the dispenser and petri dish back to their rightful locations on the rail car. Just leave it like that. So there's a lot I can do with the dispensing. Like you can, another thing I need to work on is a way to dispense directly into flasks, and then you mix. You can use the mixer mechanism then to mix up solids into liquids, things like that. I think what I got right now, it's fairly straightforward how to design anything an experimenter might need. So we got to put the dispenser back. Now we got to put our petri dish back. Let's get the rail car in the right spot. Grab the lid. Lid's back on. Just one last step of moving it back to the rail car. And we're we're just about done. So now, hopefully you can see 2 petri dishes with the dispensed material.